Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the GOES-U launch. This is a Falcon Heavy. I'm Nathan. I'm going to be one of our hosts, along with my co-host, Jordan. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Jordan. Second time live streaming with you again and reporting here from Brownsville, Texas.
So for those who don't know, this is going to be a Falcon Heavy launch. It's a weather monitoring satellite essentially for NASA, and it's basically to track all sorts of different things. It's going to be going out to geostationary orbit today, so they're not going to be recovering the center booster, unfortunately, but we are going to get a beautiful double side booster landing, return to launch site, and we've got one of our photographers, photographer John, out down at the Cape, so he'll actually be able to point his camera over, and we'll get some beautiful live views, basically right of the landing, just from out there, and we'll have that over on the screen as well. So that's going to be pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, that's epic. I'm super jealous. I remember, like it was yesterday, back in 2018, I got to witness both side boosters land for the inaugural launch of Falcon Heavy, and it's just something I hope to see again soon one day.
Yeah, I've seen a few of the Falcon Heavy launches because I live over here in Florida. I'm not going to get to watch this one, but hopefully the next one I'll be there in person. But I mean, I'm looking forward to watching it with all of you. So yeah, if you're looking forward to watching it with us as well, definitely click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe as well to the channel. We do live streams like this. We haven't done too many live streams of launches, but we're trying to get better at that. And we're going to be trying to do some more, essentially just watch parties of the launch, as well as we're trying to start up a daily space roundup, essentially, where we'll just talk about what's going on in the space industry on a quick live stream roughly every day. And yeah,
guys, hop in the if you're subscribed to WAI, you can hop in the live chat and just share where you're watching from, any of kind of your past favorite launches maybe, or any questions you have.
This is going to be an awesome launch today. I hope y'all are as excited as we are, because yeah. And of course, we got the NASA live stream off to the side as well. And down at the bottom right, I believe that's the video from our what? Okay, so that's from our photographer John at the Space Coast. So that's essentially a live view of. We'll be able to see the landing pad a lot better than we'll be able to see the launch pad, but we should still be able to see the launch from there as well. And actually from that view, we'll be catching it a lot sooner from the live stream. So if you want like essentially the latest view of what's going on, that'll be the fastest, because NASA's live streams are typically about 30 seconds or so delayed. So we'll be able to see everything from that view much faster. So that's going to be really cool. So yeah, probably whenever we see about T-minus 30 on the countdown up there, we'll be seeing, actually it'll be on NASA's live stream, so that counter should be more accurate, but we should be seeing the liftoff down there.
That's awesome. We've got 2 Johns, maybe more Johns than that, I think.
Yeah, we've got a few Johns on the team. It's hard to keep track sometimes. We actually have 2 photographer Johns, because we have, of course, our awesome photographer John out at Starbase, who goes out almost daily to get some of the best pictures he can. All the pictures, basically all the pictures you see at Starbase of like the close-ups or the videos, just all that stuff is basically from our photographer John at Starbase. And then we've also got our photographer John at Space Coast. I'm forgetting his last name. Sorry about that. Winkopp. John Winkopp. Sorry about that. Yeah, but he's down at the Cape, and he gets basically the views of the launches for us. So yeah.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of going up in the heli with John Cargile to get some aerial shots a few months back. That was pretty epic.
Yeah.
If you just fly
I'm
along
jealous.
South Padre Beach and you're looking down, it's just blue ocean as far as you can see. Then you get to Starbase.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have not been to Starbase yet, unfortunately. Hopefully soon. Hopefully
That should
soon.
be a requirement. The Cape and
It
Starbase.
should be. Soon, hopefully. But yeah, I just get to watch all the launches here at the Cape, essentially. Like, right now I'm up in North Florida, about 3 hours from the Cape, but just because of how bright and how high up rockets go, I can literally just step out on my front porch and watch the launches. And in the case of Falcon Heavy, oftentimes I can see them flip around and do a boost back burn. So if you're ever in Florida and there's a launch, even if you're like, but I'm not going to be at the Cape, just look to whatever direction the Cape is in. There's a pretty good likelihood you'll be able to see a launch. It's pretty cool. So if you're going to Disney World, just look over a little bit. You'll be able to see a rocket go up. And I do know you can see them from Disney World because I have watched a launch from Disney World.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I saw some people were out at the Millennium concert in California, and they got to see the Falcon Heavy launch during. Sorry, not Heavy, Falcon 9 during the concert. It looks pretty epic.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the launch a little bit. So should be going in about T-minus 9 minutes or so. Yeah, so our counter is a little more on target than the one from NASA. So pay attention to that one for at least our cameras. We should have those back up soon. And then for the actual live stream, of course, pay attention to the gray one from NASA. But you can see for the Falcon Heavy, this one does have that gray band. We've seen it a few times on the upper stages of Falcon Heavies, especially those that are going to higher energy orbits where they might need to go on a coast for a little bit longer. That gray band is essentially just insulation to keep the propellants from boiling off, because when you're in space, things can heat up a little bit. And when they heat up, they expand, and that means you got to dump it sometimes. So to prevent as much boil off as possible from happening, they just got that gray band on the outside. So it's pretty cool. All right. We are also going to go over the flight timeline a little bit. So let me pull that up. All right. So the flight timeline, it's a pretty standard Falcon Heavy launch, although unfortunately in the case of Falcon Heavy, because the center core isn't going to be recovered because it's sacrificed for Delta V. But in this case, we got the 2 side boosters returning to the launch site, which is always awesome to see. If you ever get the chance to come to Florida for a Falcon Heavy launch, it is probably the coolest launch you can watch, maybe other than Starship.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a return to launch site with the boosters, because the boosters are going to turn around and then light while the center core is still burning, and you just get what essentially looks like an aurora in the sky, especially at night. I've only ever seen one Falcon Heavy night launch, because I believe there's only ever been one night Falcon Heavy launch. But you basically get to see the boosters and the plume interacting. But yeah, for this launch, they will be returning to the landing site, and then the center core is going to burn for a bit longer before getting tossed in the ocean. The second stage is going to burn with fairing separation, and those are likely going to be recovered. And then, of course, the upper stage is probably going to coast for a little longer. So this graph is kind of a little off, because there will likely be multiple upper stage burns, hence why the gray band is there. And yeah, then the payload will separate and send GOES-U off to geostationary orbit.
Yeah, I think you were sharing with me before the stream, Nathan, that they haven't successfully recovered a center core yet. Not for lack of trying, and I think you said they even landed one on the drone ship, but then it fell over in rough seas on the way back.
Yeah, I remember, because I watched that launch. I believe it was the 3rd launch of the Falcon Heavy, and I'd gone to watch the launch, and I was like, yeah, they landed on the drone platform. They finally did it after 3 launches. And then I hear just a while later, oh, it fell over. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they've actually just purposefully expended more of them now and just not even tried to recover them, because unfortunately, whenever it comes to Delta V, it does make more sense for the Falcon Heavy to expend that center core, because a lot of the payloads it's launching are going to higher energy orbits, and they need that extra kick. And basically, if you're going to be recovering the center core, oftentimes
It's too far.
that means it's a payload that can likely be launched on a Falcon 9.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really need the Falcon Heavy center core, and it makes more sense to just ditch it, unfortunately, which is why they're building Starship, because that'll be able to launch anything and land everything. All right, so it looks like we're about T-4 minutes from launch on our cameras, so be sure to keep a look down on the bottom right.
Yeah, it looks like John's getting the best view setup that he can.
Yeah.
Nice and clear, though.
Yeah. It's going to be a beautiful launch today. I'm definitely looking forward to those landings as well, because our photographer's closer to the landing pads than the actual launch pads.
Yeah, and when I was there, I think I watched from the viewing area right by the museum. So I think that's about 5 to 6 miles out. And Felix just shared with us that he's literally 2.5 miles from the landing site. So he's going to have quite the show here in a few minutes if all goes well.
I'm sure he'll be recording some stuff as well. So we might end up throwing that in the next video.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
At the very least, we'll probably throw it out to our patrons. Shout out to our Patreon and, of course, our channel members. If you're interested in seeing the earliest photos that we got and basically everything from the team, like basically seeing all the photos the moment the team gets it, definitely be sure to sign up for our Patreon or become a channel member.
Nikolai in the chat said he's anticipating Scrub. So not sure where that negativity is coming from, but we'll see if he's right here soon.
Yeah, it's a little, so they do, I mean, I'm guessing they don't have the biggest window weather-wise, because I'm about 3 hours away from them right now in Jacksonville, and it's just starting to rain, and the weather isn't looking the best up here. But storm clouds can also move fairly slowly sometimes, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, no launch, or no scrub, jeez. No scrub. All right, so I just heard from the back end, it looks like 70% good weather, so no scrub. They're going. All right, so yeah, these are all brand new boosters, by the way. New center core, new side boosters. So hopefully these side boosters are used a lot more. And sometimes as well, the side boosters are turned into Falcon 9s, or Falcon 9s are turned into side boosters. Who knows what SpaceX will do with these after this. But yeah, unfortunately, the new center core is getting tossed in the water, but the side boosters are getting returned, and hopefully they have a very long and very good career. Yeah. Also, don't forget to like the video so more people can find our live streams, and subscribe to the channel so you get the latest space updates. Our latest video just came out today, and I thought it was awesome. We went over a bunch of cool stuff happening at Starbase, and our next video will be out on Friday. And of course, we have our daily space roundups as well, so be sure to check those out.
In a few seconds,
right, we're going to unmute the live stream.
System, and Falcon will be in startup.
All right.
Falcon Heavy is in startup.
All right. Remember, we are about 20 to 30 seconds ahead. So right now, yeah, we should be. Oh, we seem to have lost Jordan's camera. Okay. 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 All right. So should be launching pretty soon now. That clock should be more accurate than NASA's, by the way. So keep an eye out on that bottom right screen. Yeah, so keep an eye out on our cams. Actually, both of them should be able to see it, I believe. Hopefully.
Oh, there it is. We're going.
Oh,
This is why we have our own camera people there.
hey.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's cool. All right, we're going.
7, 6,
Oh,
5.
that's a beautiful
4,
view from both of our cameras.
2,
And that thing hauls when it gets
Wow.
going. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now we're getting kind of the instant replay here on the
Yeah.
NASA stream.
Oh,
NOAA's
And that takes me back.
weather satellite
wow.
monitor the Earth and Sun in high definition.
So far, so good.
Oh, beautiful tracking from our cameras as well. Doing a great job out there, John. All right, there we go. Wow, look at that. So those side boosters are gonna keep throttling up. The center core does tend to be throttled down throughout the flight just to save a bit of fuel. Those side boosters are fully burning right now. And of course, they should be, you can actually kind of see it in the plume as well, how that center looks a little
Yep, almost like
thinner.
it's turned off.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, that's very cool.
Wow.
We've got like
The view
yeah.
from our photographer, John, is basically as good as SpaceX's. Oh, that's beautiful.
John's
Look
either
at that
adjusting his
plume.
ISO in real time or it's on some kind of automatic setting. He is. Okay, yeah,
Wow.
that's great. So we can see the flames really well.
Our photographer's able to track it even longer than NASA, I guess.
Oh, I
And
love
remember,
that.
that's 30 seconds ahead, so that's even more impressive. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it looks like we've
should
got
be-
that view looking straight down the center core and then separations coming
We
up.
should be able to see booster sep coming up not too long from now. It's hard to tell on these cameras, or at least with my connection, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 3 different launch views up right now, and it's like which one's in real time.
Ours is the most real time.
Yeah, there she is.
Oh. Wow, and there's the side boosters coming off. You can see them, just the 2 little dots. Ah, beautiful shot. And so those are going to relight their engines and boost back to the landing zone, which is just basically right next to our photographer. And now you can see NASA's view of it. So we'll bring our photographer John's
Oh yeah, there we
view
go.
back up once we get closer to that. But for on NASA's stream, you just got to see that, and that's the view NASA
That's
got
so
of it.
cool.
That is beautiful. And of course, that boost back burn with the plume to plume interaction is
Yeah, it's like the air show but for space.
It is definitely one of the coolest things you can watch.
And they're gonna
I
head
love
back
this rocket.
to the Cape.
Yep. And
Felix
they
is gonna
are
have
flying
quite the
back.
view.
Oh yeah, because Felix is out on a boat just 2 miles away from the landing pads right now. And because he's on a boat, that means these are basically going to be flying right over his head.
It looks like they're doing their deceleration burns, right?
Yeah, so the boost back burn turns, burns, and then they're going to do a re-entry burn as well.
Yeah, so if you're at the Cape, you'll actually hear 2 sonic booms in quick succession.
Yeah, so you'll be able to. That's.
So I think
And
they
you
still stagger the
underestimate-
landing slightly, just in case something goes wrong with one of them. Correct?
Yeah, they do. Those sonic booms, you underestimate the loudness of them. Oh, and there's second stage separation. And there's the Merlin lighting. Beautiful. All right, so we should be having fairing separation just in a couple seconds now.
That's
They
a
should
beautiful
show
shot.
that. That is beautiful.
Got several
see
people
that.
in the chat saying this is their first Falcon Heavy launch today. So
Oh,
It's a good
wow.
one.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. The return to launch sites are awesome. You don't see that too often with the Falcon 9 anymore. So anytime there's a Falcon Heavy launch with two returning to the launch site, it's something to witness. All right. We'll see how our photographer John is doing. We should probably be pulling up his view soon. Yeah, so landing's at about 8 minutes.
And
So
on
in other
NASA
words, so we'll
stream,
pull his up in about a minute because NASA has the split view, so we want to see both for as long as possible because we are going to have to cut off a little bit whenever we switch to our photographers. But we'll
yeah, I
pull that
believe
back.
right now on you can see on the booster the cold gas thrusters on the top, just doing minor corrections to keep it on trajectory. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
All right. Yeah. So we should also be able to see, we should have two cameras up as well. So not just our photographer John's, but also our port camera, which you can see on our 24/7 live stream, by the way.
Yeah, and we already saw they had a couple Falcon 9 boosters, I think, at the port right now, as well as the recovery ship for the fairing catch attempts.
Yep. All right. So we should be pulling up his cameras pretty soon now. Oh, there they are. Wow. Okay, so that was the entry burn. Actually, that's just the full-on landing. It's hard to tell because the streams are so separate.
Yeah, so the rocket today delivered 26,700 kilograms to geotransfer orbit. It's pretty cool.
Yep. So I believe that was the entry burn. Okay. So that was, in fact, the entry burn. That's what I thought it was. Just wanted to make sure. All right,
Here
so
they
we got
come.
another minute till landing, so...
Yeah. And we're getting a more close-up shot. Oh, man. Oh, this is great.
Wow.
Oh, John.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
It's coming in so hot. He's trying. He's got it.
There it is. Oh,
Can they
and we're
stick
gonna
the
try and pull up our
landings?
other port cam. Oh wow. There it is.
Now, do we have a second booster?
Yeah, where's the other booster?
That's what I'm wondering, because it did look like it was heading off in a different direction on the.
Nope, I think it just landed. I think it's just out of view.
Okay, it's just our angle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little out of view.
Scared me for a minute.
But nope.
Oh yeah, there we go in the NASA
There you
stream.
go. You can see it on NASA stream. Our angle just isn't the best for seeing both boosters, but there it is.
Man, that's
1
art.
and 2. It's routine, just landing a gigantic building-sized rocket from launching a payload to orbit. Actually, 2 of them, sorry.
Doesn't get old, it really doesn't.
It does not at all. Yeah. All right, so the second stage should be back at about 26 minutes and 19 seconds. So we got about 20 minutes to stick around. So
Yeah, we do have a couple questions in the live chat if we want to hop in there.
All right.
Such
do
as
that.
Someone asked if the launch pad in Florida is already built. I think they're referring for Starship.
Yeah. So for Starship, actually, Musk just confirmed. Well, he confirmed it a while ago, technically, but the video about it just came out that they're essentially overhauling the entire launch pad, which is kind of what we had suspected, because they had started the construction on Starship's launch pad at the Cape because they built the tower, they got all the stuff ready, they put up the pillars, and then they tore them all down. So we'd kind of thought either the construction was horrible or more likely they're changing the design, especially after IFT-1, cratered the center of the launch pad. So yeah, they have not built that yet, but it's because they're changing the design, so it'll be pretty interesting to see what they built there. And Tower 2, that means we'll also have a different design of launch pad, so I guess we'll see which one gets it first.
Yeah, I bet they'll refine it with these next few Starship launches, especially with the new tower down here, and then they'll probably decide going forward what to do at the Cape.
Yeah. So yeah, this satellite it's the 18th satellite in the GOES that's been launched for the GOES constellation, which is basically just a bunch of environmental monitoring satellites specifically for like hurricanes and weather and just general monitoring of stuff. It can it can help with other things as well. So it's definitely a very cool satellite, and especially considering the extreme weather events that have been happening, like the tropical storm that just hit Starbase and likely hurricane that'll be headed over here to Florida soon.
Yeah, and I was interested to find out it'll also track air quality, solar flares and their impact as well. So
yeah,
got quite a few capabilities on there. Someone in the chat was asking what happened to the center core. And Nathan, you were kind of going over that earlier, that they're going to have to ditch this one.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but there is some good news around that. Because they're ditching it, they're getting a lot of extra performance for the second stage. And it basically allows the second stage to put the GOES-U satellite in basically an orbit closer to what its final orbit will be, meaning it will have a longer lifespan than it was originally planned. So the original lifespan of the satellite was 15 years. Because it's launching on Falcon Heavy and they're putting so much extra, they're essentially putting a lot of extra potential energy, or delta V, which is just the amount of potential to change a velocity. Because they're putting the satellite in closer to its final orbit, it's going to have about 20 years as opposed to the planned 15. So 33% increase. So it's going to be, it's for a good purpose at least, but it is always sad to see a booster lost or expended. But yeah, of course, not all of them are expended, and you can see over on our port cam that we do have a booster back at the Cape now on a drone ship, just waiting to be unloaded. And in fact, that's only one of the two that are there. So
wild.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the drone ship. Was it Bob? Or they still have just read the instructions in operation as well?
Yeah, it's of course I Still Love You and Just Read the Instructions of the two drone ships on the East Coast. So those are the two that we'll see. Actually, wait, I might be wrong. Isn't the new one on the East Coast?
It's funny that we can't even keep track of the drone ships anymore.
Yeah, well, it's because they've also changed the names around a bit.
That's what I thought. Yeah, they renamed one.
Oh, sorry. Shortfall of Gravitas is at the Cape.
That's right.
Yeah, so this was actually, the booster on there should be from the Astro mission, which we actually also watched a few days ago. So if you're interested in watching some launches with us, be sure to click that subscribe button. And yeah. And of course, me and Jordan are not the only hosts. So of course we have Felix as well, who is currently on a boat watching the launch. So he got to watch the landing we got to watch from about 2 miles away, right on the water, where the boosters essentially just flew right over his head. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so he will also be hosting some of the live streams as well. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see us cover even more space stuff.
Yeah, and thank you guys for all the support in the chat. A lot of people are commenting how much they love the stream, how our coverage is better than most. So we always appreciate that. We're always improving.
We are. We're not our channel hasn't done too much live stuff over the past couple years. We've tried to do some more stuff, but we're definitely trying to get into the rhythm now of doing it more often, getting everything figured out. And yeah, happy y'all are enjoying it. And I thought the views that our photographer John was able to bring us real time of the landing and the launch, of course, was awesome.
Yeah, and that the tracking of those boosters is very difficult. So the fact that he was able to get it in frame as much as he did, because to the average person that would look like really shaky and oh come on, but it's really difficult. Those things are coming in.
Yeah.
You know, they're breaking the sound barrier. I think just if maybe you know like 20 meters up or so, and that's where you get that sonic boom, and so that's pretty fast.
Yeah, and those sonic booms are very loud. If you ever watch a SpaceX launch where it's a return to launch site, you actually can't hear them if they're landing on a drone ship. But if you're watching a return to launch site, those sonic booms will shake you. They're a lot louder than you'd think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 13 miles away and still able to. It sounds ridiculous. Yeah. Honestly, if you've never seen a launch, you should definitely try and see it in person, because as good as the like audio quality that the streams and like the videos can bring, nothing even comes close to watching an actual launch.
No.
With it just shaking everything. It feels almost like an earthquake, but like in your chest.
Yeah, and
it's
the
hard
sound
to describe.
of the ascent. I didn't get to hear it again until I watched Starship here in person, but I can remember the crackle and the rumble of those. There's a lot of engines on Falcon Heavy as well, like more than most launches you would see.
27.
So it's just so loud. Yeah, 27 in total, because you've got 9 Merlins on each of the side boosters, correct? And then
yep, and then 9 on the center. So 3 times 9, we got 27. Actually, 27 burning at once, and then you got 28 on the upper stage.
Yeah, the vacuum engine, right?
Well, not 28 on the upper stage itself, just one extra. That makes it 28.
So yeah, if you want to hear something similar, you watch Starship launch as well, which those are becoming more frequent down here.
Yeah, 4 already. That's
yeah, in just a year, and now the cadence is going to increase as long as nothing major goes wrong.
All right, so in about 8 minutes, we should be seeing the second stage relight its engine, and that'll be pretty cool as well to watch. But yeah, that gray ring is basically to ensure that it has enough fuel to do that relight after a bit of a longer time of waiting. Yeah, so of course there are multiple relights. We're probably not going to be sticking around for all of them. I'm asking on the back end real quick for the exact timeline. Yeah, so we're probably not going to be sticking around for the third one because it's at 4 hours and 18 minutes. I'd honestly kind of be surprised if NASA kept it live for that long. Although, to be fair, they're not.
They're NASA.
They're NASA. They're used to long live streams. I'm pretty sure they've got one of the longest continuous live streams on YouTube with like the live view from the ISS, if I remember correctly.
Oh, really? How long was it?
It's been going for multiple years now, almost constantly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I believe like 2018 was, if not earlier, was when it started. But they've been doing it for a while, so they are no stranger to long live streams. So, but at that point, they'll probably just cut over to the view of. They'll just cut over to like the images, the telemetry from the second stage, and that's about it.
Someone said they heard the 2 boosters in O-Town.
Oh wow.
Is that short for Orlando? I'm not familiar with the lingo down there in South Florida.
I'm pretty sure it is Orlando, but yeah, it's. I live in Orlando, so.
Oh, really? Yeah, my
Yeah.
cousin does too.
You can occasionally hear the sonic booms from Orlando. Actually, the crazy thing is you can hear the sonic booms of of a capsule reentry from Orlando as well. For the cargo capsules whenever they were landing in the Atlantic Ocean, because now they land they I don't believe they land them in the Atlantic anymore. I believe they land in the Gulf.
Okay.
But they basically go right overhead, and I remember I was giving my parents a tour of my college, and then we just hear a gigantic boom, and we're like, what the heck was that? And then I check my phone, and sure enough, capsule reentry frightens Orlando like Disney goers or something.
Yeah, hopefully they don't put negative spins on it once they're doing Starship. But someone was asking if our personal cameras would be removed for the Starship launches.
Well, no, we'll still have coverage from us. So SpaceX doesn't do the direct coverage of Starship launches on YouTube anymore because they've decided to do that all on X. So this stream actually is from NASA on YouTube, but SpaceX is not live on YouTube because they stream everything on X now because, it's Musk's company. And well, they're both Musk's company, so yeah. Oh, okay. So on the back end, I think I might have misunderstood the question. If you were asking about like how close we keep the cameras for an actual launch, for a Starship launch, we still try and keep them about as close as possible. We don't move them away or anything.
Yeah, I think he said 1.6 miles. So that's pretty close.
Yeah. We try and bring y'all the best coverage. All right, so we got about 4 minutes till that second stage relights. And then we'll have Seco 2, and then we'll probably
bid you farewell.
Then we'll probably call it a day. Beautiful launch and landing, though. That was
yes.
incredible.
I always love when the weather makes it possible to get those views. And I went to South Padre Island early this morning, and I was wishing we'd had a launch this morning because it was so clear. You could see the oil rigs out in the Gulf, and then straight from the bridge, you see right over to Starbase. You see the rocket garden and the launch tower and their little test booster for the cats. Yeah, if you've been watching, Felix has done some updates on that, and
yep, we got the mini booster out on a pad for interesting reasons.
It's so cute. I mean, it's just a little baby booster.
Yeah, we're still waiting to see what SpaceX does with that, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah. So for those who just joined us, we just watched the launch of Falcon Heavy, the GOES-U satellite, which is a weather satellite, on its way to a geostationary orbit, and we're just waiting a couple more minutes now for the second stage relight. Yeah, so we got about 2 minutes.
It's just been incredible how reliable the track record of SpaceX rockets has been.
Yeah, it's been amazing to see everything. I've been following SpaceX since the first Falcon Heavy launch, so it's Falcon Heavy's always had a special place in my heart. and it's incredible to see the differences now from the first Falcon Heavy launch to now, where they've launched it multiple times, and then of course Falcon 9's cadence and Starship.
Yep.
So just the growth, and Starlink basically being one of the world's the only internet provider, the world's largest internet provider from space. I was gonna say the world's only, but they're not. I mean, compared to the other ones, at least they're definitely the largest. Yeah, they have about 6,000 satellites in orbit, I believe. So, I mean, whenever it comes to constellations or even just SpaceX satellites versus every other satellite in orbit, it's a lot.
Yeah, no shortage of streamers over there at NASA, as we're seeing.
Oh yeah, they do have quite a few hosts. All right, so we got about 1 minute, so we should probably.
That's a great shot
Keep
right there
that
of the
up.
scale of Falcon 9, because you can see a little. That's not a little boat going out. That's like you can go deep sea fishing on that, and it just looks tiny compared to the drone ship.
Yeah, maybe we should cut over to that view so we can see the second stage Relight. All right, we're at about T minus 40 from the Relight. And this booster, or not this booster, this second stage is going to have multiple relights, some of them after quite a while, but oh, look at the ice there.
Mm-hmm.
And it just fell out. Wow. Watching the ice fall into the flame, that was beautiful. Then that nice red glow. All right, so it's not a very long light, only about 20 seconds. And that'll just put it on a better trajectory to geostationary orbit. And then it'll have more relights to get it even closer. Yeah, so we got another relight in 4 hours and 24 minutes. So a fair bit longer till that one. All right. So that was the relight.
Looks successful.
Yeah. So they got a few more of those, and of course you can. Oh, actually, the relight's still going. Sorry. Oh,
There we
okay.
go.
Yeah, got the times mixed up a little bit. So yeah, it's a very long burn for the. All right, so it's about another 10 seconds.
This view just always makes me want to bust out the marshmallows and graham crackers.
Just get one of the little Starship torches that they're selling
I
now.
couldn't justify the purchase. I wanted it so bad, but I'm like, I cannot drop a few $100 on this.
All right, so it should be done now. We just got confirmation from SpaceX on the back end. So yeah. All right, so that should probably wrap up the stream as well, because we got the next episodes to work on, of course. So if you're interested in seeing the latest Starbase news, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can stay informed on all the latest things that are happening at Starbase. And of course, if you want to get the latest photos, basically as soon as our team gets them, be sure to become a channel member or subscribe to our Patreon as well, and you'll get those photos. Thanks to everybody who stopped by.
Yeah, and we'll look forward to maybe getting some videos or photos from Felix on the boat, seeing those two boosters land. So
lots of beautiful footage of the boosters landing today. That was an absolute delight to watch. All right, so yeah, I guess thank you all for stopping by. Hope you all have a good rest of your day, whatever time it is for you, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time it is. I hope you have a good time, and that'll be it from me.
Thanks, Nathan. Good hosting with you, and thanks, everyone.